Famous Linda Wilmes.
Thanks, Amy.
You're welcome.
Thanks for having me. I've been here before, but I'm going to do something different tonight. This is a different method of applying watercolors. It's called saturated wet technique because we use under the surface paper. And this is 300 pound. You can see how stiff it is. This, I did one on 140 pound cold press, but it's pretty good. But this is a little better. So the first thing I'm going to do is soak the paper. And I guess you could do this in the bathtub too, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do it in here because you didn't bring me a bathtub. And I'm just going to glide a very super wet sponge just over it gently. I'm not going to scrub it or rub it because I don't want to mess up the finish on the paper. I want to keep the finish. The idea of this technique is there will be enough water in the paper, soaked into the paper, that you will have time to work your colors, manipulate your colors, blend, let them run together, lift off, reapply more paint in certain areas that you want. This is a fun thing to do if you like abstracts or just super very free, happen what may type of paintings. I'm going to do another butterfly tonight, and this one's not going to look at all like the first one. Each one's going to be different because color plays a big part in this. So I'm going to let this just soak a minute, and you will see with traditional applications of watercolor, you will maybe wet an area and drop paint in and watch the two flow together or mingle or whatever. Those are the freshest, cleanest colors. So on this, it's almost the same thing. We're going to get this wet enough, and it's getting a little lamp now. I want to do it one more time though. I'm going to make sure I have enough water in here so I can have enough time to...
So the point is to keep it as wet as you can, right?
But I'm going to start off with it wet. After this, I'm not really going to add water, but I want the water in the paper.
Yep.
Yes. So we're going to get this one more time, and it'll get kind of limp, and you will see it's getting better. Let it sit for just a second. So I'll tell you about the colors that I'm going to use. When I paint, I always paint with a limited palette. I use one red, one yellow, and one blue. And with those three colors, I can mix everything else. So I know these colors are compatible and they'll mingle well together. Sometimes if you get a blue-green and you get an orange or something crazy in there, you might get a brownish muddy color. And I don't want that. I want very, very bright, vibrant colors. And a lot of this happens just like this back here, just the colors mingling together. Here you can see it too, where it was very, very wet. And there's places where we'll lift color off and we can come back and put more color on, maybe if you need more contrast, okay? The three over here are samples of the saturated wet technique. The prints over here are traditional watercolors. I always paint on 140 pound cold pressed watercolor paper. Never really started using 300 pound until I started doing this. This just gives it a little more body. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and start. So what I'm going to do, my colors are also transparent. Okay, I've got a Rollian, I've got permanent rose, and I've got a Winsor blue red shade. There's a red and a green. This is the red shade. These colors will give you brilliant oranges, brilliant purples, and beautiful, bright, beautiful greens. So we're going to apply the paint, and I think I'm going to do it like this. Somehow I got a little red in my yellow. So we're going to see what happens. This is straight yellow, straight away. So when we start applying the colors, I got a lump. We're just going to put the colors on, each color, starting with the lightest first. This is a transparent watercolor, so you know that it's going to be easy to lift this off, right? Because it's transparent. Then I'm going to go, we're just going to try this with three colors. Well, I am going to use one exception. And more paint, just an abstract design. It doesn't matter. That might be a little thin. So now I'm gonna come in with blue. So look what happens when the yellow and red already start mixing, okay? So let's get some blue. And I want to cover my paper with paint. Here we go. Let's see what happens here. And then my final color. Just a second. I'm going to get some more red. I think I can get that much. A little more red on. Let's put a little more red on. And look at it start dancing. See? So no matter how you turn the paper, depends on what kind of pattern you want. I could actually make it go like this and start making this curve back around this way. The exception that I'm going to use tonight is indigo. And this is a super, super dark color, but it's going to give me some great contrast. So I'm still thinking of an abstract design, maybe something like that. Oops, I missed a spot.
Is that a dark purple? What is it?
It's a dark blue-black. But that color is more opaque. So that color is not going to lift as well as my other color. So now I'm going to let it do its magic. We're going to let it do a little blending and mixing. Just right there. You can add more water if you want. You could even do, I don't like that right there. So we can add a little spray, and then watch what happens when it starts traveling down over that yellow and start getting some more green. So this is a fun stage, and just watch the beautiful mingling. That's what makes the beautiful, great colors, because I just kind of glided the paint on wet paper, so I didn't really scrub and rub and go on and do all of that. So that's kind of neat. So anytime now, I'm going to start lifting off paint, okay? So let's just imagine we're going to do a butterfly. So let's make his body down here. See how I can get back to almost white paper. So this is going to be a body down here. But you've got to keep rinsing and blotting it, because this acts like, kind of like a sponge. And if it's loaded with paint and water, it's not going to lift for you. I think we should make his head a little bigger. But this is going to be the start of my butterfly body. And then I'm going to get lighter and lighter. One thing about this water is dirty. But I can let's just make some wings. And you may say, what is that big old black thing doing in there? Well, we'll get rid of him. We'll get rid of him. But first I'm going to get a main kind of a butterfly wing going here. So each time I go over it, it's still plenty wet. You can tell because it's running back. You see that? So this is going to be his bottom wing. If I want this really white, look at there. How that comes out. And it's wet. It's so wet, it's kind of running back together, but that's okay. Because I'm going to get, this is kind of like I'm making my first sketch. Because you know you can't do a pencil sketch, right? Because you're covering it all up, you're going to lose all of it. So just emphasize his body a little more. So now I've got these pretty cool wings, which have veins in them, don't they? So now I think what I would like to do is I think I'm going to try to put some kind of leaves or something down here. I'm going to have to do something to break this up. I don't like that, all this real dark. So let's try to make this into some little leaves or something. Or maybe it's a little flower. Who knows what this is?
It could be a happy little tree.
It could be a very happy little tree. I'm not sure what kind of tree this is. Just something to break it up. Now over here, we're going to make this wing kind of look like it's coming down with a shadow under it. So let's add a little more blue. A little more blue. Just a color's fine. Now over here it gets red, so let's go back to red. Let's go back to red. And let's do some of this. So you put more paint on. And always keep lifting paint off. We're going to make this look like it's a see-through wing. So we can break up this chunk right here. Okay? Lots of paper towels and lots of water. So I like the yellow. What would happen? This is yellow's transparent. It's not going to cover that blue, that dark blue black, but I should get a greenish because there's enough blue. See that? It's a little crazy looking, isn't it? So that's the indigo. You've heard of indigo ink, India ink. Very permanent, very, very dark. So let's work on his body a little bit. What's happening when I'm not looking, right? We're getting some crazy things. I think this would be a great flower back here. Perfect colors for flowers. It's kind of blue. Let's see if we can make this into some kind of flower. This is just plain fun.
I'm gonna try this.
Just kind of let yourself go. You just kind of go with what's there. That's why I thought that looked like a flower there. So,
Wow.
but
Magic.
I think the center of the flower should be a little darker. Let's see. Let's say the top red, okay? So let's just darken this a little bit. And then maybe down underneath. A little bit down underneath. And make this into a beautiful river. And you see it's still blending, it's still running together.
It's so poetic, really is.
It's kind of when my two sisters and I were growing up, we'd sit and color and draw and everything, and we had this thing where we made fantasy flowers. We called them fantasy flowers because they didn't really look like any recognizable flower. But we had a lot of fun. So that's a fun thing. Okay, we gotta work on this bottom. I said I was going to do that, I didn't do it. So I'm thinking there would be some pink reflected on his body here. So I'm thinking we'll put a little pink on there, and then maybe it's shadowed a little bit underneath, a little darker. This is a hefty butterfly. He's been eating well. Or something, I don't know. I don't know what he's been doing. So we'll just highlight this segments of his body. And I think I like this okay over there. I think that's just fine. So let's just go ahead and put in little. Excuse me. I'm allergic to Amy. I'm going to flatten it out as much as possible because I'm going to
all my fault.
How many legs does a butterfly have? Is it an insect?
It's 8 for insects.
Well, he's got 6. I hope it's okay. If there needs to be more, I can add more. If I touch this too much. So you can add more paint, and it's actually still blending into the butterfly because it's still wet. So let's do, let's work on the wings a little bit. See how easy this is? This is just, I'm guilty so much. See how white we can get them? Keep the brush flat and rinse it anyway. I see water on the floor, and I don't know how that happened. I'm sure it's something on here. So there, the green pulled, kind of pulled down in the pink. You see that? Mm-hmm. You can do that too. But first, I want to get these veins on, because we can add more color to each individual wing if we want. This is getting drier, but even after the paint's dry, you can still lift off with a damp brush. And that is so easy to do. Just a little hint of vinegar. Just a little bit. See there, the dark is going back down. That looks neat. I like that. So look at it. Add some more dark. That's pretty. I don't want them to look flat. A little more water. Just kind of brush that down a little bit. The next one looks like it's got a little more green in it. So we'll just kind of go with that. I have lumpy yellow tonight. I think I mixed well enough. So let's put a little shadow under our green. Now it's going to get duller here because you see I'm going over kind of a pinkish red. You see that? You all know that. But it's giving the butterfly more depth, and we would want it to be duller and darker down here because so it's going into a little more shadow. Just a damp brush. Now I'm going to go a little more pink on the next one. Okay, let's go right up here. And there's nothing that says I can't come back and lift off some more because I can. Now let's go right into the green. Complementary colors. Red and green. So, the more you understand color mixtures, the better some of your combinations are going to be. Because if you know what colors dull each other, you would want to kind of stay away from them unless you intentionally want to do like I'm doing right here, kind of add a shadow effect. So now, let's come back right away. Because it's drying now, it's starting to dry. It's still pretty damp. Ooh, look at this up here. I didn't even see that. This bothers me, I should have done something with that. Now it might be too far gone. So we're going to go back, next segment of the wing, kind of a reddish orange right here. I love this right here. It's a little strong though, isn't it? Let's work on this one first. Could tie that together. So now the shadows will start going on this side. So you always want to be conscious of your light source, okay? I'm going to do this. Let's start there. So wherever you decide your light's coming from, you want to be consistent with all your highlights as well as your shadows throughout the painting. You know that. Sometimes we get caught up in what we're doing though and we lose track. When I first started taking pictures of flowers out in the yard, I was going crazy. I had all these great pictures and I didn't do much with them until after Christmas one year. It was nasty outside. I thought, oh, great time to make flowers. So I got out my pictures and I got some really nice pictures. But I had highlights and opposite shadows because I really wanted to take the photographs and take several rooms and make an arrangement, you know. So I ran into a lot of problems because I had sunlight coming from every direction, shadows from trying to match the colors, and it was just a zoo. It's just pizzazzing. So you can do anything you want. Another reason this is so much fun. Okay. Now I think it would be really neat if we gave our butterflies some cool spots. What do you think? There's paint's getting dirty here. So we're going to go a little bit of all the colors. So maybe this could have a little bit of red in it. It's getting dry. You see that? It's just pretty well sticking. So add just a little bit of water. But it's going to stay there. Let's make this one more orange. So kind of going with what color the wing is. Okay. So he might have orange spots over here. Then when we get over on the other side, where that green is, let's just use blue. So maybe he's got a couple spots on that wing, a couple spots on this wing. So these are pretty well locking in. They're almost like paint and dry. So you can add a little more underneath the veins, almost make them look like they're raising up, maybe. So
You painted a lot of butterflies.
not really. Nope. I think this is the third one I've done of butterflies. I did that one, and then I did an acrylic. Not really good. It's too heavy, too bulky. So let's get a little redder coming down. Just kind of exaggerating the color in the ways. That works pretty good there. And then I think we can, leave a little shadow to his vein. And everyone doesn't have to be done. It's kind of like less is more, okay?
Now, had you decided to do a butterfly before you started?
Well, yeah, this was kind of a short notice thing tonight, so I just thought,
Kind of.
I think this is what we're doing. Something kind of fast and not too difficult. But this type of painting is really a lot of fun. Let's just get that a little darker too. So that part of the wing is popping out. And does this have to be the same width as that? I hope not, because I didn't make it that way. Okay? We need some more pizzazz. Now this is getting dry, so here's a good spot to show you that you can lift off with a damp brush. Just go a little slower, and look at that. There's just enough moisture in the brush to soften the paint. And then if you go kind of slow, it will just lift it off. Don't want to get too light here because we're going down in the shadow again. So maybe we'll do these quicker. See that? It's just fun. If I were at home, I would really get cleaner water, which would work better. So maybe that's enough. Do I have to do all these? Did you see it lifting off? Mm-hmm. So you might try this with, see you have a lifter brush you like at home that you paint with, that you lift off with. The flats are better because you can see I can cut in a line, or I could even do a wider, broader stroke. I don't know what that is. I don't like that. So much work on that. So let's just go blue. Let's go this way. We'll just maybe pretend it's a flower. You see how dry it's getting? Mm-hmm. But just a little water and it'll move again. But like in regular watercolors, I'll need to be careful that I don't get a bloom. Or I don't want one. They're kind of like that. So what would happen then if we would just carry this? Sometimes things just happen. Okay, this bothers me. I've got to work on that. I've got to do something with that. And even this, I don't like that. So let's just imagine there's a vine back there growing up or something. Let's see. We got orange. We got orange. So let's stick with red, orange. We'll stick with red, orange. Just keep softening that edge. Just go up into here. It'll be dull, but that'll be good. That's a good spot for some dull colors. Starting to disappear into the background. Just something to break it up. Just use your imagination. Have fun with it. Okay, blue. You know, that's that. Get rid of that. I wasn't paying attention. I should have caught it for all that dry. I wasn't looking there, I guess. Oh, that was too bright. Light. There. There. That looks better. I keep seeing this. So, I think that's pretty good. This bothers me. Does it bother you?
I hadn't noticed it yet.
Right there.
I'm still looking at.
So I need to do something with that. What would be neat is get some dark coming all the way over. I think. And I think what'd you say?
Said it could be in a bubble.
It could be in a bubble.
You've always got a bubble in
It could be a bubble. Okay, now get to imagine.
it.
Okay, there's another butterfly back there. This is important, I think, because we need to balance this out, because this is getting pretty dark over here. What do you think? So sometimes the colors mingle more, and you get these great neutrals. I'm just swishing this on here. I'm not really getting no particular red. This would look pretty. Soft. Get a nice neutral here, but a little orange. See that? But I want to get rid of this line right here. So maybe there's some more red back there. What about this red traveling through behind it? Not too dominant though. Let's soften it a little bit. Everything doesn't have to be explaining or detailed, but we do have a good composition when we're finished. Light and dark, color harmony. Okay, you all know that. Sometimes if I'm working on something and I'm not sure what to do, or I just kind of stop it and I don't feel like it's finished, sometimes I'll just take a picture of it with my phone, get it framed, and sometimes I can look at it and I'll immediately see what I need to do. Something else that's kind of cool, I don't know if this isn't a real fine mist. Shoot, maybe better not do it with this one. Sometimes you can get water droplets, but then you have to let it fly. And that's kind of cool. I think I might work on that a little bit. It's kind of heavy right there. You see what it's doing? See what the water's doing? So it kind of gives a little texture, but I don't really want it to run. I want kind of spots. So I'm going to lay it flat for a minute, and then I'm going to come down here and do something there. I think some purplish would be great, and a little bit of a pinkish, purplish. I'm going upside down, so I'm really looking at my composition. I'm not really trying to make this into anything, but I know that I want some of this color here, and it was also break up the dark, harsh line. And it also is giving more of a background to that butterfly, which I like, and I don't like this. So see, I'll keep going, and I'll say, oh, I don't like this. You said I had an hour, I could have done. It might take me longer. I like that swirl. Tiny as that. I think my darks are pretty well balanced. I like the yellow movement coming up. You see that?
Yeah.
That's the things I'm looking for. Butterfly lost his eye, but does he have to have an eye? Probably should have a little bit of one. Pretend he has an eye. I think this is too dark.
Do I know? I don't think it's done.
You think that's
No,
okay?
because you blended that edge on it, and it's not
That's okay.
harsh edge anymore.
Well then I'm going to put just a few spots. Have I got time?
You have plenty of time, Linda. You could go another half an hour.
Okay. Of course, I'm known for overworking artwork, so
Yeah, that's
look
when you
out.
stop.
Yeah.
That is a hard thing to do. You could decide when you should quit.
Show the folks, painted under.
that these other wings don't look out of place. Let's make them real soft, real light. Just wondering up there at the top, I should fix it. Let me give this a little bit more. Just a little more. Pizzazz. A little definition at the top of the wing. So you see, when you put the water on the paper, the paint was super wet when it hit that, the paint hit that super wet paper. So it just really flowed like that. We let it set a minute, then we came back and lifted off to get some highlights back. But then I'm adding more color to, now look, I can just kind of scrub that off with his body. Watch this. That's why I like transparent colors, because I can lift things here. You saw what happened with the indigo, how it doesn't want to budge. That's not a transparent color. And that is another reason that I put it on last. Because I put my color here, thumbprint. So if they're opaque colors, they're not going to lift off. They're going to really stain and lock in, okay? So now we're going to put a little something there to cover that. Oh, that's good.
So where do you get your paint? I never even knew there was a difference between transparent.
There are color charts that you can get that tell you if a color is transparent.
Oh, it's just the color itself, it's not the kind of
It's
paint?
what's in pigment, right. A lot of, like the earth colors, yellow ochre, raw rubber, those are real opaque. And they go on, they're not transparent, you know? The transparent paints will give you some really pretty glazes. Okay, this might be the best one to show you. This I did in this technique with the saturated wet paper, and then I lifted off. And look how sharp the edges are. Of course, I put that dark red, if I had to make it a little dark red and more dark red, so that when I cut this off, I got this bright, sharp one. So there you're getting some good contrast. But red and green are complementary colors, so they don't each other. But when the paint is almost dry, like to this stage, you saw me go over it. So that's what I did back here. I added over this yellowish, yucky green, I put some of this permanent rose and pink, just a real thin layer. It's just enough glaze. So you see the color underneath, but you also see the transparent glaze on top. And that's what gives you that beautiful transparency. Only watercolors can do. Only watercolors can do. Sometimes, maybe if I wanted to get an orangey glow on a flower or something, to suggest more bright sunlight hitting it, I might put a glaze of thin yellow orange on it, on a pink flower, and it just goes pow. You know? The same with the contrasting colors. Like, look at the blue violet guy right next to that. So, and some of this down here, you can't really tell what it is. It suggests flowers, but it's not a particular flower. These were tulips. This was a tulip that was seeing its last day. So it was spread open, you know. So the day I did that, I thought, if I'm going to paint these things, I better do it. But that's the way it looked. So then I added the buds.
Did you use black paper on that second one to start with?
No,
You put the black on yourself?
just like this.
Okay.
It just came out a lot darker. I don't have as much color.
Right.
It bothers me because it ended up with the warm colors at the bottom of both sides. And I really should have pumped this up more, but I had all this green. So that was a problem with the red. So sometimes if you know what you want to paint, maybe you want to paint some particular flowers, you know, a couple blossoms, you might keep in mind, if I'm doing an iris, I want the gold on the beard. You know, maybe you'll say, hey, here's an iris and here's an iris. put that orange and yellow there, and then take off with your other colors, because when you get to change the color of the petals, it's beautiful. Like you captured it with the gold and yellow on the beard and the iris, so you really have it popping, you know. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all I've got.
That's very good.
Yeah. But even after this is dry, I can still go over it with more glazes if I want. And I really could lift out a little more if I wanted. But as long as you keep a clean, damp brush and say I put a glaze on with this brush, this water's so dirty, I don't think I should touch it anymore. But if I laid a glaze here, that would be really pretty. And then take just a clean, damp brush and just hit the edges.
Okay, that's where you get
Float
that.
float into your petal and it won't look like a brush mark. So, and your paint at that stage is pretty thin. It's pretty thin, more thin down than what you would paint as a rule, you know. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you guys
Well,
very
thank
much.
you. Any questions for any questions for Linda?
Great group.
Any questions for Linda?
How long did it take you to do this one down here?
Maybe about a half an hour.
No way, oh my
I'm
God.
serious. I'm
A
serious.
half hour.
Yeah, but
I.
now looking back, I wish I'd have done a little more and got back to white paper in a few places.
That's really good.
But I was trying to put all those veins.
Yeah.
So Linda, if there was only one thing you want them to leave tonight to remember about this technique, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to put the paint on and let it do its magic. And then come back and pull out what you want. Maybe you put your colors on and you decide, oh wow, that looks like a flower there, and I was going to put two over here. Go with it. Go with it. And don't be afraid to touch it. Don't be afraid to put the paint on. Don't be afraid to lift it off. Don't be afraid to add more. You can do it. I think, well, I do know, the more you paint, the more experiences you get. But you also get more confidence. And that confidence is what gets you to, I can do that. I can slap the paint on there. You know? Loosen up, use bigger brushes, you know? And that's kind of hard if you're used to very detailed defined,
Yeah, this
very rendered.
impressionistic is always pretty.
Yeah, leave something to the imagination, you know?
That's a great quote to end with. Leave something to the imagination.
That's
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Thank you, guys.
Focused in North St. Louis County, Northside Art Association is a nonprofit 501c3 arts organization that serves local artists through community exposure, networking, education, and peer interaction. Learn more about Northside Art Association at www.northsideartassociation.org.